Hey guys, it's Arcade and I'm back with another tutorial. Today I'm gonna show you how to make music like the Chainsmokers. So yeah, let's get started. Let's set the tempo to 95 and set up a basic drum rhythm. So I'm gonna be using this kick, this snare clap, and this filler kick. And let's just set up a basic beat like this. So yeah, a really simple beat. At the end of this beat we have this filler kick, which just gives it some kind of variation. And let's put that in the playlist. Now let's move on to the chords. So Unison Audio hooked me up with some packs they wanted me to show you. And one of those is this MIDI pack, which is all about chords. So you got the individual chords like these. Then you got some extended chords. Then even some more different variations of the chords. And if you don't know music theory like me, then this is really useful because you can experiment more with chords that you never even heard of before. So that's really nice, but you also got some chord progressions, some more basic ones and then more advanced chord progressions. So let's go to the basic ones, and I really like this one. And so that's what we are going to be using for this song. And as you know, Chainsmokers also use some pretty basic chord progressions. There's nothing wrong with using the same chord progression as another song, because a lot of the songs have exactly the same chord progressions. So don't even worry about like using similar chords, because a lot of the songs have similar or same exact chords. So anyways, if you want to check out the pack yourself, link is in the description. And if you use my link, you get 15% off. So go check that out. And now let's continue. Also in this pack, you will find some Serum presets, so you can test out the chords on different sounds. Those are also pretty awesome. So for this sound, I'm using this chill EP sound. Now let's put this sound in the playlist as well. And let's just drag in these build-up drums I've prepared already. And this is gonna be a little build-up, just so we don't have only the drop. So I just put these build-up drums in there. And yeah, these are the chords from the pack. So these are the chords I'm going to be using for this song. Yeah, let's copy these chords, create a new pattern. And I have another sound from Unison from their Mellow collection, and it's this keys tracer. And this is the type of sound that the Chainsmokers use in their tracks. It's like these detuned saw waves type of thing. So let's just copy the chords in here. And let's actually create a different rhythm for these chords. So just hold Control and drag your mouse over the chord. And let's create this rhythm. And I'm also holding Shift to copy the notes. And yeah, just create an interesting rhythm. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. You can go with whatever you want to. But I'm kind of trying to recreate like the Chainsmokers closer. And this is the type of rhythm they had. And yeah, basically these are the chords. And if you want to experiment even more with the chords, you can select some of the notes and put them octave higher, for example, by holding Control and arrow up. It will still be the same chord, but it will sound a little bit different because the notes are in different order. So let's do the same for this one, like this maybe. And yeah, that's pretty much our chords that are gonna be in the drop. For the effects on this sound, I'm using some EQ to delete the low frequencies and boost the high frequencies. Then some reverb to just give it more atmosphere and make it sound more subtle in the drop. And also I use Sound Goodizer with the D preset, and that just kind of compresses the sound, make it sound fuller. Also, this sound is sidechained by the kick, so every time the kick hits, the volume of this sound gets lowered. And if you don't know what sidechaining is, check out my other tutorial, so link will be in the description as well. So that's the first sound. So that's the first layer of sounds in the drop. Let's put it in there. And another sound I'm using along with the chords is this one. It's also from Unison Audio. Since they sponsored this video, I'm using only sounds by them. And this one is called Dry Plaque. You want to complement this sound with another sound that is more of a plunky sound, just so you get that initial punch in the chords. So let's just copy it by hitting Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and now we have this sound. And together they sound like this. So together it sounds like the chords have certain punch to them. And for the effects on this sound, I pretty much use the same exact effects as before. And now here is how it sounds with the drums and these chords. And obviously it's missing a bass, so let's add that now. So when creating the bass, we can pretty much go to the chords and copy the lower notes. So just hold Ctrl, copy the notes, Ctrl C, and let's create a new pattern for the bass. Here's the sound I'm using. So it's this sound from the bass collection, and let's just copy it to the piano roll of the bass. And let's actually make some of these notes a little longer than the chords. So hold Alt and just make them a little longer. This will just give the bass a little bit more of a presence, and the chords also have some reverb on them, so this will just make the bass kind of follow along with the chords better by making the notes a little bit longer. And also another thing we can do to add some variation to the bass is also put some notes octave higher. So for example, this C is pretty low, so we can actually put it octave higher. And that will make the last three notes more visible in the song. And yeah, that's pretty much our bass. As far as the effects go, again, I only put sidechaining on it, so every time the kick hits, the volume of the bass gets lowered, and that's pretty much it. It's just a basic preset. And let's add that in the playlist as well. And now this is how it sounds with the bass. Yeah, so it's pretty good, but obviously it's missing a melody. So that's what we are going to focus on right now. So when creating melody, I recommend playing the song along. So just create a new pattern, put it in the playlist, and play the song. And now open up piano roll. I already have a sound for the melody, which is this one. But also this one. And this one. So it's gonna be 3 layers, but let's focus on this one for now, and let's just create the melody in this one, and then copy it to the other layers. So I'm just gonna open piano roll and play the song. And basically, when I'm creating a melody, I imagine it in my head first, and then recreate it in piano roll. And I know this might not be easy for some people, but with enough practice, you will also be able to do that. And usually Chainsmokers have really basic melodies, and also the rhythm of their melodies is just really basic as well. It's basically one note after another, no weird rhythms or anything, so that's the kind of melody I'm going to focus on. And if you are still having trouble making melodies, you can actually Google the chord progression you have, which in our case is this one, which is in C major. You can see that right here on the left when I hover over piano roll, and you can Google the scale of C major and you'll see what notes you can use so they go well in harmony with the chords. So C major uses all white keys, so you can pretty much click any white key and it will go along with this chord progression. Also, another rule you can use is basically all the notes that this chord progression consists of, you can create a melody using all these notes and they will fit in the chord progression. But yeah, as I said, I don't really know music theory, so I'm not the right person to ask this. I just kind of follow along based on my ear. So I imagine it in my head and then I know exactly like which notes I'm supposed to put in. And now this is the first part of the melody. Let's copy it and let's just change the ending of this. Just change these 2 notes and it will just kind of wrap the melody around so it continues naturally. yeah, let's just copy that over. And for the effects on this melody, again, I'm using the same effects as the chords because the sounds just kind of worked. But I also have 2 more layers. So we have 3 layers to this melody. So let's just copy the melody over to the 2nd layer and the 3rd layer. And let's actually put these 2 octave lower. So for the 2nd layer, I'm using this sound. So it's kind of a detuned saw wave as well. And for the 3rd layer, it's the same sound as the first one, but octave lower. And I also lowered the volume of it a little bit. So obviously you can use completely different sounds for this, and I would recommend going with something a bit more unique, something people will remember when they hear it. And so to make this more interesting, I'm also gonna add these cymbals. So this cymbal loop, which sounds like this. So let's add that to the 2nd part of the drop, so it progresses and builds up even more. And also we can add some effects, like this basic down sweep and riser. And yeah, then we pretty much have the drop ready and this little build up. And also right before the drop, let's put the drums, the snare in there, like so. And this would be where you put your vocals in. But yeah, overall, all the sounds just kind of work together, and all the chords and melodies work together. So yeah, thank you for Unison Audio for sponsoring this video. Check out their packs, they have a great collection of sounds for Serum, and also this MIDI pack, which will probably help you a lot if you don't know the chords. And even if you do, you can just experiment with like new chords that you probably wouldn't think of. So yeah, I really like these sounds. So yeah, go check it out, link is in the description. If you use the link, you will get 15% off on your purchase. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.